I think we're going to step back because we covered the resources.
Are there any questions? Does anybody have questions?
These are not copyrighted?
They are copyrighted.
They are copyrighted.
But we have permission to use them for the purposes of the study, including your downloading them, printing them out, and so forth. So even, I don't know if you touched, but for example, even the Speaking Depression book, which is a resource on the flash drive, we have permission for the purpose of the study from the publisher to do that.
Uh-huh.
And the copyright on all the Partners in Care toolkits is owned by RAND, and RAND has given us permission for this kind of dissemination purpose.
Uh-huh.
So you can print them out, you can use them. You'd normally be paying for them.
Yeah.
But, you know, and even if you're not in the study, because we've given you these flash drives, if you end up not being in the study, you have access to these materials because we're trying to make the overall study a win for the community, even if you're not participating. But if you are participating, then we will support you in studying these and using them and figuring out how to use them in your agency.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about it in terms, we have a mental health library that is accessible, one-stop shop for all our staff to come to the one place and get the information, right? And my hope would be that this would be able to be integrated into that mental health library, you know, to get access to 200 people, you know, rather than them each always having to go back in and accessing the web and each always having to remember their password and remember their...
Right. We support that idea.
Yeah, but you could have, for example, your library could have a computer, probably does. I don't know
Yeah,
if
it's all
it does,
computer.
where your agency could have a password to get access to this site.
Yeah, we could link,
and they
for
could
sure.
And then they can always have at their fingertips that information.
Okay, so linking to the site wouldn't be a problem for you.
Well, I see what you're saying. Linking to the site, you will have a password specific to your agency if you're a participating agency.
Okay.
In the dissemination phase of the study, after the trial,
Uh-huh.
then the site will be available broadly. But during the trial phase, when we're trying to get the outcomes data on this community approach to doing it, then you would be a participating agency to use the website. Am I understanding this correctly?
Well,
Isn't that
everyone
how it
who's
is?
here today is getting access to the site. So either a participating agency or someone who's here today, because everyone who's here today is getting access to it.
Okay.
I mean, DMH is here today, but DMH is
It's
like...
everywhere.
I mean,
Right,
DMH
right,
is big, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Well, they're a part-
we
they
are
are part-
committed to ensuring that we adhere to the laws and wouldn't want to breach copyright infringement. You know, so that's the point of the question.
These are copyrighted materials. They are available under special arrangements for purposes of the study. To be honest with you, I haven't really, and I think that would include the broad community engagement purposes of the study. Beyond participating sites, we can look into the letter of the law on that. If you end up being a participating site, I know for sure there's not an issue, because that's the specific arrangement that we have. And some of them, the book, for example, we'll have to renew it in 3 years or something like that. But then you're going to want some other book in 3 years. So, but that was all part of setting up the study, and trying to make it
marvelous.
I think I kind of created the problem a little bit, is that it's important to me this is a community conference open to everyone who's interested, and instead of just being for CPIC agencies. So being open to everyone, we can't say, oh, here, you can have it, you can't. So, I think today everybody gets it.
Well, we do hope you'll be interested in this.
But of course, yes, the bottom line is we'd like you to participate, and we hope you think you do better in the project than on your own. So, but part of it is making it open and accessible to the community.
Well, and it seems to me like that is one of the frequent problems, that things get done still in a silo. It's on my web versus the web that my staff use. So I think, again, there are still these silo processes that occur unwittingly, that it's not, it's not like
Well-
done in a way that makes it.
Yeah, I mean,
Impediments
just
occur.
to reassure you some, even the CBT manuals are already available for free download on the web. All of the partners and care materials outside of the study, like the care management, not our version of it, but the one that was used in the study, you can get for free on the RAND website. What you can't get for free is the hard copy set, because that just costs money to produce. So you have to pay just cost only from RAND. So that's part of why it was so easy for us to get permission. The only exception to that is the book, which is a commercial publisher. But they agreed basically to take RAND's point of view for the purposes of this study. So we're just trying to make it as easy as possible for people to use clinically sensible material.
Right.
Yeah.
And one question here.
So are we saying with registered users, there's no screening process, anybody can, just like you did a while back?
We have the registration open right now because we want folks who come here today and who are participating in CPIC to create their own accounts. And then, in a few weeks, once we feel that as many people from this conference registered that we would register, we would change the site to a registration where if anyone can request access, and then we'll screen and provide access. But to facilitate everyone who's here today and everyone who's in your agency, your partners and your employees, for them to have access, and I think it's important that they create their own passwords, because otherwise folks won't remember and they won't come back. They'll just leave the
And
site.
the aspects of it that are specific to the study, like the telephone support calls to help deal with the agency, will be limited to participating sites, just because we don't have the resources to support, at this point, to support the whole community. So that we'll have to figure out, does that get on some, we'll have to figure out exactly how to engineer that. But the intent is that portion of it are for agencies participating. That you still have the toolkits even if you're not. So, okay, is that clear enough?
One last interesting point, since you brought up copyright. Sometimes something's copyrighted, but it's available for free. However, you can't modify it. That's not the case for all the resources that are modifiable. We have several forms that are in Word format, and the reason they're in Word format and they weren't PDF is because we want folks to come, download it, bring back to their agencies, and make whatever adjustments they need to make it work for them. So even though those are copyrighted materials, they are modifiable because we hope we'll make it our own.
Do we want to switch over to?
Yes, so we're going to step back, and Elizabeth and Jim will step forward to the more fun part of this.